Hi everyone, welcome to MDC in the Haitian community. I'm James Pierre. Today we have the honor to welcome a Haitian American author for his new book, Mastermind Alliance, God and Men. Vaudy Joseph, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for accepting me. Thank you
It
for bringing
is
me. It's
truly
a
an
pleasure
honor
on my
having
end.
you here because our relationship goes way back, and from MDC as a former student from Miami-Dade College. So we are so proud of your new book that we're going to go deep and deeper. But I want my audience to get to know you better and deeper. So you were here as a student at Miami-Dade College.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Tell me about your experience.
Well, I was after high school. Shortly after high school, my mom made it clear that I had no choice. Even when I was in show, if college was a thing for me, my mom made it clear that it's either was going to be college or I was going to have to leave home. And
Wow.
a little bit after that, of course, that was the decision that I had to make. Little did I know that that was one of the greatest decisions that I would end up making. But at the time, I was reluctant to do it because I was like, maybe college is not a thing for me.
Yeah.
But sure enough, I went about doing that, and it was one of the best experiences of my life.
And your major was in TV and film radio
Exactly.
production. So how was the program? So
Man, it was when I said, okay, well, I have to go to college now. I have to pick something that I'm passionate about. And of course, I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to tell people my perspective on things. And I felt like, TV and production, TV and film, that would be the best way to go about doing that, and that's what I learned to do. I learned to go out, and tell my story, whether I did it with music or I did it with, short films or videos that I did with, for my music.
like I said, you're Haitian American author. You're born in Haiti. You're born in Cap Haitian, the north side of Haiti. Coming here in the United States, how was the transition for you?
It was rough. There's no other way for me to put it because I'm being thrown into a situation where I don't know English. I don't speak English. So I'm in an environment where it's basically I'm here to survive. I have to survive one way or another. I have to learn as fast as possible because I got kids to my left and to my right that's making fun of me because I don't understand. And I'm frustrated about the whole situation because I want to understand. I don't like feeling the fact that I don't know, or I don't have control of the situation. But that in the beginning, that's what it was. I had no control over what was going on. I was in the classroom and I barely understand what was going on. But still, all in all, I still learned as fast as I could learn. I learned English as fast as possible. That was a year. It took me about a year to really start to understand a lot of things. I was doing great in math. So I was doing good, but it wasn't an easy process for me. But it was a process that I had to go through. Yes,
Wow.
definitely.
How was the support system structure that you had from your family side compared to education? Were they were there to say, hey, they help you do your homework, or they went to the school to speak with the principal, or teachers to help you go further?
Well, my mom was very involved in that sense, in the sense of, making sure that she was there when I was in trouble, when I was causing trouble in school, that she would show up, to make sure if the teacher said that they needed to be there. Of course, she was a single mother, so she did the best she could. And also she was the main provider, so she had to be the one that was out there to work and do everything that she could do. And she was basically going to work like 4 days at a time out of town. You understand? So I was plenty of times that we was just home, not I wouldn't say alone, but we had other people that was there, but it wasn't, it wasn't your parent. Yeah. So she did the best she could. She was a single mother. She did the best she could to make sure that we went to college. Like I said, she made sure that I had no choice but to go to college or I was going to have to leave home. Wow. Because she understand what education means, even though at the time, me, myself, I did not understand the value of education.
So at home, you had the Haitian culture.
Definitely.
But outside, you were exposed to the American culture.
Well, that was one of the different things about adapting to my environment. I couldn't wait to adapt to it because it caused a self-esteem issue. See, when you put yourself in a situation like that, when you find yourself in a situation like that, your self-esteem is not how it's supposed to be. So now you start, okay, you seeing the other kids, you know, they making fun of the shoes that you have. You know, my mom couldn't afford the best shoes, the Jordan shoes. So she would went with us to the thrift stores. You understand? So, but when you go to school and then, you know, other kids noticed that and, you know, they made fun of it. So as fast as I could, try to see if I could, you know, get those shoes myself. As fast as I could see if I could try to adapt to the environment that I was in, to start wearing the same type of clothes that the kids was wearing, even though they cost a lot of money, even though I had to compromise myself, you know, even though I had to put myself in a situation where I had to get the money to afford those things for myself, you know, because my mom didn't put too much emphasis on them, because she felt like, you know, you didn't need the Jordan shoes. You know, education was the most important thing. It wasn't about, you know, your value. What made you where you are wasn't about the clothes that you had in your bag, but it was really about the education that you had. So but I was basically in conflict with that, because I felt like, you know, what was going to make me the person that I am, what was going to give me the respect that I deserve, was for me to look and to do the things that the people around me were doing.
But where did you get that knowledge? Was it the street? Was it influence telling you, okay, the way I supposed to look is what will define me as a successful person, as a, I don't know, as a great person, as a respected person?
Well, you know what they say. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. I got it from the village, basically. I got it from everybody outside of my mom. You know, I got it from the music that I listened to. I got it from the movies that I was watching, the mob movies that I was watching. I got it from the friends that I had. You know, that we all wanted more than what our parents could give us. As much as they tried to give us as much as they could. You know, we wanted to look good. You understand? It was more about money and respect. It was more about, you know, that invisibility, to feel like, you know, we couldn't be touched, to feel like we was respected, that people was making fun about us just being Haitian, because we were Haitian, that people felt like, you know, that was a downgrade, that was less than. So we had to earn that. When you start trying to earn that, sadly to say, that you start looking into the negative aspect of society to try to fill that, you know, fill that void. You know, and then at that time you had the Zoe Pounding, you had those different groups of Haitians, you know, that were, you know, very influential to the young Haitian Americans that was growing up here, you know, because they was earning the respect, but it wasn't earning the respect in the sense of education, but they were earning the respect in the street by how much, you know, how much drugs that they had control of, and how people were scared of them, and how they were in control of certain areas in Miami. And, you know, I can't lie to you, I was attracted to that. The friends that were around me were attracted to that for a long time. And that's the kind of lifestyle that we went about, you know, trying to live.
Wow, absolutely. I'm gonna take a break, but after the break, I want to go deeper on some of the troubles that you get into during your childhood and also doing college. So stay with us, Vaudy Joseph. You're watching MDC in the Haitian community. I'm James Pierre. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Be creative. Be a hero. Be the solution. Be connected. Be innovative. Be global. Be successful. Be you. Be MDC. Be Miami-Dade College.
Welcome back to MDC in the Haitian community. I'm James Pierre. Our guest today is Haitian American author Vaudy Joseph with the new book, Mastermind, Alliance, God, and Men. Vaudy Joseph, like I said prior, you were here as a student at Miami-Dade College. So while you were in college, you were still getting yourself into trouble.
Definitely. Like I said, you know, the mindset was no different. You know, okay, my mom told me I had to go to college, but I already knew where I wanted to go. I knew that the lifestyle that, you know, that I looked up to, the people that I looked up to. I know what kind of lifestyle they were living. I know how they got to the money that they got, and that was my main focus. Yes, I was coming to school, and I actually did enjoy coming to school, and I learned a lot coming to school. But still, that aspect of the street life was still a big part of my mindset. It was a big part of who I was at that time. And, of course, I ended up, selling drugs, doing everything that I could to get as much fast money as possible. And I was doing a lot of music. And, of course, the music wasn't nothing positive in it. It was just plain negativity. It was about, adding to the self-destruction that was around society. But it wasn't about that for me. It was about getting where I was going by any means necessary.
Well, you say that you were duplicating something that you've been learning for a long time, and you felt that that's the whole model you're supposed to follow in order to be successful?
Oh, of course, that was the mindset that I adopted. It basically at some point became who I was. Of course, like I said, it was through listening to music and the environment I was in, and all of those things added to who I was at that time and who I thought I was supposed to be. Like I said, for me to get I didn't have no sense of value. You understand? My value was in the things that I had, more so than coming from the inside or coming from within. So I went about, doing what I had to do to make sure that to me I was worthy, or what I believe society told me means worth.
So you were chasing money. Uh-huh. You were living life and do everything you can to have money. Yeah. And you were being arrested several times. What has changed? At what moment you said, you know what, this is not working. I need to change my life to a new direction?
I wish I could take credit for it, but a lot of it, had to do with God. You understand? Because God really, when I was exposed to who God was, when I was exposed to a God that really, loved me despite my, my shortcomings, despite the many things that I was doing, despite the fact that, I was selling drugs, despite the fact that I was the cause of, people, being self-destruct, people dying. I saw the effect of selling drugs in my society. The close friends I had that died because, they were smoking, and a different aspect of people that I lost, close friends of mine that got locked up, close friends of mine that died. I knew that, that wasn't the way to go, but, I still couldn't let go. It still had a good grip on who I was. So, but when I got to the end of myself, when I got to the point where, it was the breaking point for me, I believe at the age of 25, that's when I was introduced to God and who God was. And I understand that, God truly loved me, and that my value, my purpose, my identity and who I was could not come from the street. It would have to come to the person that made me, the person that created me. That's where my identity would have to come from. And that's where my purpose, why I'm here. All of those things. See, when my life was about how much money I could get, I got that mindset was formed based on the identity from the street. When my identity straight from being a child of God, everything changed. Because at that point now, my purpose, my value, my worth, everything that I am came from the person that actually made me. See, I could give you a quick example. Jordan shoes. If you take the logo of the Jordan shoes, if you take it off their shoes, it's no longer nothing. If you take the Nike sign off of the shoes, there's no value to it. But if you put the sign back on it, it's worth $100. If you take the sign off of it, it's worth $10. So when I understand that my image, when I understand that my image came from God and God put a little piece of him inside of me, I understand what I was related to. So when I understand that I'm related to the person, that created the heavens and the earth, man, that's where I got my value from. Before I got it from the people that was on the street. Yeah. You understand? Which was wrong, which was distorted. But now I was getting it, of course, from the maker. That's when everything changed. That's when my mindset changed. Yeah. That's when I was like, okay, it's unacceptable for me to continue to live my life the way that I was living. And whether it was, about, treating women like they were nothing. Okay. I'm like just a piece of meat, or that my life, my love for money, my addiction towards money. You understand? Yeah. It was unacceptable, because it was leading me to self-destruction.
Absolutely. I wanted to know how your parents did cope with such situation when you were, you were being arrested and all these things going on. What was their reaction? My mom did the best she could. She threw me out at one point.
got me, but I went back in. I got locked up. Before I got locked up, she said she would never, she would never step foot. If something did happen, she would never set foot in trying to get me out or in a courtroom. But truth be told, she was the person that was there with tears in her eyes, praying for me, that, eventually that things will turn around. And true enough, of course, I'm here in front of you because things actually did turn around. Like I said, I can't take the credit for it. I can't say that it was a light bulb that suddenly, turned on and, oh my God, it was just basically the work of God.
What a powerful story. And I'm glad that you changed. I'm glad that now you're an author. You have a book, you have a family. You're also a very successful person in the community. You do a lot of motivational sessions for youth and also for other people in the community. I wanted to talk about that after the commercial break. Stay with us, Vaudy. You're watching MDC in the Haitian community. My name is James Pierre. When we come back, much more to know about Vaudy Joseph's new book and also his activities in the Haitian community.
Be creative. Be a hero. Be the solution. Be connected. Be innovative. Be global. Be successful. Be you. Be MDC. Be Miami-Dade College.
Welcome back to MDC in the Haitian community. What a wonderful conversation with Haitian American author Vaudy Joseph, former MDC student. Vaudy, that segment I wanted to concentrate more on the book that you have. So Mastermind, Alliance, God, and Man. So what inspired you to say, okay, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to take my story to share it with others?
Well, first of all, the inspiration that came from God. It was my relationship with God caused me to go in at that angle. But also, I knew that a lot of people wanted to know. It was information that people needed to know. Information that I wish I knew at some point that I did not know. See, we all want to be successful. Everybody want to be successful. But the truth of the matter is there's a way to get to success. First of all, and also we need to understand what success really is. And we need to understand that success is not just a physical thing. It's not about having the house, the big house on the hills. It's not about having the nice cars. It's not about, having all the Rolex and all that different. At one point, that's what I was chasing, you see. But little did I know that wasn't success. That at the end of the day, that success is first spiritual and then it's physical. That if you don't have that spiritual success, then the physical is not going to get you nowhere. It's just like me. If I'm doing all kind of crimes on the streets, and and I end up making $1 million, and I live good for 1 year, and I end up going to prison for the rest of my life, is that success? No, it's not. But at the time that I was living a life, it looked like it was success to everybody else. The frame of this book is basically telling you that if we have about 90 years, let's say some of us live to be 90, in the span of eternal, we all have eternity inside of us, which is our spirit. We have to be successful from the spiritual point of view, from God's point of view. You understand? You can't just have the physical part, because at the end of the day, you will have to face God. So you want to be spiritually successful. And at the same time, that spiritual success that you're getting is going to leak into that physical success that you're looking for. You understand? If you want to be successful, whether it's in your marriage, yes, that's fine. But it's a spiritual aspect to it. See, the Bible let us know exactly how to have a successful marriage. The Bible let us know exactly how to be great. One of the scriptures in the Bible talks about, the greatest among us will be our servant. You understand? So the Bible is laced up with a lot of these things that we're looking for. But see, it's just like, if you bought a new phone, you understand? The phone came with a manual, but what we usually do, we put the manual to the side and we say, I know how to figure out the phone. See, I believe that our life came with a manual, But we skip the manual. We say, God, I got it from here. I'm gonna go about it my own way. See, the book is basically trying to tell you this is how you get to the success that you're looking for. But in the process of you going for that success, you cannot neglect your soul. So you cannot neglect your spirit. So you have to be right with God. When you right with God, everything, all the other aspects of life that you care about, that we all care about, whether it's our marriages, our family, our career, our finance, all that stuff is what I'm talking about in the book. But I'm telling you, the roadmap to it has already been given. The plan has already been given. Just like a manufacturer send you a manual when you bought that phone. Mm-hmm. The creator of this universe sent us a manual on how we should live our life. And if we follow it, then we won't lead ourselves to self-destruction, which a big part of my life, I was leading myself to self-destruction without me knowing it. See, today I'm talking to you. And about 2-3 weeks ago, one of my closest friends, got shot 4 times and got killed. That's somebody that was very close to me. Yeah. You understand? And I've had another one is just got 17 years. You understand? Another one is locked up right now for 2nd-degree murder. And that's not the only ones. I could speak about so many of them. And
so you are telling me, based on these stories, you felt at a certain moment that you could be there if your life hasn't that opportunity to turn into a new direction.
Exactly.
And you want others to learn from your story in order to prevent such
exactly. When I was going 100 miles a minute, the only thing that saved my life, it's not because I'm no better than they are. It was because, it was the grace of God that saved me. So this book is about letting other people know that there are options out there, that you don't have to put your life on the line, that you don't have to choose what the devil's handing you. That, first you got to understand your identity. Once you understand your identity, everything that you're looking for, there's nothing wrong with wanting a successful marriage. There's nothing wrong with wanting a successful life. Just like your parents don't have no issue with you being successful, but they care about how you're going about trying to find that success. Not by any means necessary, but by following the roadmap that's already there. This book is talking about, how to set up goals and how to achieve them. The formula to success. You understand? This book is talking about, success in your marriage. This book is talking about, success in your finance. This book is talking about the importance of education, that we have 3 education, that we have, academic education, which is critical. Mm-hmm. Which is, thank God for Miami-Dade College, which I had that. And also, your financial education, which is very important because we need that for the rest of our lives. But the one that is the most important is your spiritual education, which once you have your spiritual education intact, you become complete.
Yeah. So you've done several sessions here in Miami and also other cities in New York and other places. How do the youth respond to the messages that you communicating to them?
Well, I've had the chance to whether it's in Miami, I've had the chance to speak to Northwestern, where they had a men up session that they were doing with the kids, just basically talking to them about different things. I think, like I said, they been given a different mindset, a mindset that is leading them to self-destruction. It's not that they're not receptive to what I could give them, it's that they're not getting it. You understand? Mm-hmm. So they receptive to it because they know it makes sense. You understand? When you hear the truth, it makes sense to you. You understand? But if it's not something that is available to them, how can they get to it? Now, when I talk to young, in my heart, I'm passionate for young people like me. Because I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I've made, and I don't want them to make the same mistakes that a lot of my friends made. That a lot of my friends, some of my friends still making them to this day. Mm-hmm. And it's not because, like I said, it's not because I'm no better than them, but I feel like I owe them to try to give them as much as possible. And that's what this book is all about. Mastermind Alliance Guided Men is about, steering the kids, to their dream. Teaching them how to get to that dream, teaching them how to capitalize on their passion, teaching them how to capitalize on their talent.
Wow. Mastermind Alliance, Guided Men, Vaudy Joseph. Where can somebody purchase that book? Man,
you can go on Amazon. You can find me on the street somewhere because I'm in New York. I'm selling a book in New York. I'm selling a book in Miami. You can go on my website, josephvaudy.com. You can go on my YouTube. You can go on my Facebook. It's a lot of different ways to get in contact with me. Mm-hmm. So once you Google me or however you go about doing it, you will definitely be able to get your hands on the book and get as many as possible because I truly feel like this book, can truly change somebody's life.
Wow. Vaudy Joseph, it is truly an honor having you with me today on set. I have to congratulate you on your work. I'm very proud of you and your accomplishments. So please keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you, and it was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you to you as well for watching MDC in the Haitian community. My name is James Pierre. We'll see you next time.